impressed and appreciated we are of the writing we've received, whether it goes in public or not, right? And whether it wins an award or not. All right? It's very easy, I think,
Reminder that your reaction is on the microphone.
It's gonna be like a what will be?
Oh, okay.
All right. We turn in late. If he's sorry, we come in late, don't make a scene about it.
Somebody took my
So it's easy when you go to an awards ceremony or you see any kind of awards, you can see them on TV, you see something like this, it's easy to like focus on the people that win and only see them as like everyone else is lost. And that's not the case. Alright? It's not like winners and losers. It is people who are like up there, people who broke the barriers and everything, but there's also people who just broke phenomenally, just didn't quite make that cut. And that's fine, because you're still an amazing writer. If you hear an award go by that you feel like you deserve, right? If you feel like that, if you honestly feel like that about the story you wrote, you probably, in a way, did deserve some recognition for that particular type of award. And that's fine to think that about yourself. Have faith in yourself, have confidence in yourself, and keep writing. All right? So we're going to move on with the rest of the awards.
All right, man. If you remember back to the beginning of the quarter in the unit, we studied Alfred Hitchcock. Remember this? And Alfred Hitchcock was the master of suspense. Nice work. Master of suspense. When you think about suspense, I'm sure some of us in here know about being suspended more than others. But don't says the guy who's on the cell phone not paying attention to the speaker. When something is being suspended, it is being held up. And when you are in suspense in a story, your expectations are being held up. What's going to happen? I can't wait. Can't wait to find out what's going to happen next. You keep it going. You keep it going. Oh, like that. So the most suspenseful story, it is quite the skill as a writer to get a person's expectations up in the air and then hold them as long as possible before you bring them to where you want to go. And so this award, the Alfred Hitchcock Award, also known as the Most Suspenseful Story Award, was written by a person who, I personally had never seen this person write creatively before. But when they came through with this particular story, it was almost like creating a new urban legend. And it was a very unique story about a couple kids, and I don't want to give spoilers. But the title of the story that you want to read is called The Myth of Dead Boys Bridge. The Myth of Dead Boys Bridge. Just give it up for
You're so cute.
Yes.
Find his girl at school.
All right. So, just as we have the award that creates the most suspense, that holds a person's heart beat still, there's the one that makes their heart drop, that makes them cry, that makes them feel every sad and almost negative emotion that there is. Not about the story, but about the characters and feeling for them. And that is a very difficult skill to master, to make someone feel an emotion that they do not want to feel. right? People want to feel happy. People want to laugh. You don't really want to cry. If you can make that happen, if you can make people feel that sorrow, that is an impressive skill in and of itself. So the person who, also the story that receives the Tearjerker Award is the Unforgettable Birthday.
Scripted writing, but one aspect of stories that no writer ever forgets about is characters. Characters are really who we connect with when we read a story. And whether or not that character is zany, kind of weird and goofy like a SpongeBob SquarePants, or the character is very nerdy and studious, evil, almost like Dexter's Laboratory. Sit down. Thank you. Anybody watch Dexter's Laboratory? You ever seen that cartoon? Okay, so fair enough. Okay. But sometimes entire franchises are known by the villain character, like a Darth Vader, and sometimes the hero, like a Batman. You know, when a character is well written, you might not remember the title of the book. You might not remember the franchise, you might not remember the author, you might not remember the setting, but when a person says Harry Potter, when a person says Percy Jackson, when a person says Luke Skywalker, you know that character, even if you haven't read the book. You know that character. And those kind of characters become stained on our consciousness over time. They become tattooed on our brain, imprinted on our consciousness. And when a person creates a character like that, we created this award because we wanted, in some way, for a person to, I guess sometimes when you create a character, you're creating like almost like either a mini version of yourself.
And sometimes when a memorable character is created, the author is forgotten. And that shouldn't be the case. That author deserves every credit to be remembered for their memorable character.
Yeah, absolutely. And you said the most memorable character, the ironic thing about this award is the character in this story actually disappeared. If you read the story about a character who disappeared, couldn't be found, and then blank, 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 so I'm not giving any spoilers, check that out. But what we're talking about here, as far as creating a memorable character, is creating a character with character traits, creating a character that has actions that are so unique that you just got to remember a character with the name like Dan Skubnergiff. All right, from the story called The Disappearance. Let's give it up for Layla Folks.
Before we move on to our final award for the best overall story, like I was saying just after lunch, there are so many stories here that don't receive awards but absolutely deserve to be appreciated. And some of you have managed to do that through the feedback that you were giving to each person that you gave them to. Oh, sorry, you're right, there's one more award in there. Good point. We'll do that one first. So sorry. But before we even do the honorable mentions, there is one more award before the best overall. As you remember, at the beginning of our unit, we went over narrative techniques. Now, when Mr. Burgess and I sat down and planned the unit, we looked up narrative techniques. Oh boy, are there so many. All right, and we didn't want to sort of bombard you with so many, so we picked a few. We picked the ones that we thought were the most important for you to grasp at this level. And there were so many different ways that you guys used them. A lot of you like clung onto like cliffhangers and plot twists, and you messed with them in such a beautiful way. And what this writer did was they took a flashback and made it a centerpiece of their story. And that flashback guided all of my feeling throughout the entire story. It made me wait for that moment to happen, wait for that character to be in that situation, because as soon as they brought it back from the flashback, everything was fine. And so I was gripped from the get-go. And so I couldn't think of a better person to give the award for narrative technique. Flashback in Too Late by Sebastian Hernandez. Oh, yes. Sorry, I did completely forget there was one in between, but to continue what I was talking about as well, the idea that we make sure we mention and give mention to the writers that didn't quite make it to the award, but absolutely need to know that their writing was phenomenal. So, I have a few from my class, I believe you have a few from yours. So, the three writers that I want to talk about from my class. First of all, Hayden. Now, Hayden, your story, from your first submission, you did everything I asked for, and you built a creative world around it. And I loved reading it. You're at the top of my fourth period, so you're one of the first people I read when I get to fourth period, and it's just a great way to start off grading that day. So, absolute congratulations to you on like an excellent story. Now, as my students know, I'm very easy to scare.
Yes.
And because of that, guess what kinds of stories they write. So, what we ended up with was a couple of people who tried to lean very heavily into the horror genre that they love so much. And I remember reading one specific story, and reading the whole way through it, and just kind of gripping my table a little bit, and just sweating, and just being like, this is so great! And they left it on such a almost like cliffhanger-esque moment, a sort of cut-off moment, where even though I kind of tend to hate scary fiction, I wanted more. And so I want to give an honorable mention, because one of the reasons that she wasn't considered for the awards is because she didn't provide a censored copy of her essay to the public website. But Iris Bontra did a nice job. And the final honorable mention I'll make for my class is a person who had some struggles when writing, when it came to censoring her. All right, this is a piece of work that was so full of every aspect of what she felt needed to come out, and so much horrifying detail that was beautifully written. And so I want to give a shout out to Genesis Figueroa, because that we created for student publishing, all these stories are still up there, and that's what we chose from.
would like some people who did not publish to feel like, man, I wish I had published. Anybody feel that way? A little bit? But you can't say no because you can't answer for everyone, right? So you can contribute in a more positive way. All right, so nevertheless, when we give out awards for the winners, a lot of times there's stories that we look at that we want to give a lot of credit to that wind up going unmentioned. And it's not that they're losers, it's that sometimes a story is a 9.5, and you're like, that one's getting me awarded. Then a couple of minutes later, you read a different story, that story is a 9.7. What happened to the 9.5? Well, one just got a little bit better. So that's why we want to give a shout out to the story Sacrifice. Right? Sacrifice was a great story. You know, sometimes you say you never really like being in second place, but if you come in second place in 3 categories, that's a pretty strong story. You know what I mean? So, Bruce and Sacrifice, you did a fantastic job, man. Good work with that. That came in second for the Tearjerker Award. A lot of times, you know, a Tearjerker Award, you kind of think of a sad story, but sometimes a story that can make you feel a ton of emotion is a happy story, or a joyous story, or a faithful story. And if you got the opportunity to go on their website and look at the story called Hopes and Wishes. Hopes and Wishes is a story about a person who's coming from a background that maybe a lot of us can relate to, about a main character who's going through a lot of pretty relatable and familiar feelings as far as their family and feeling rejected, but keeping their eye on a goal and holding on to their faith. And at the end, well, I'm not going to tell you, these guys got to check that out. But just really well written. Second place in a ton of categories. Give it up for Berlin right here. But there is a winner, ladies and gentlemen. It is time for the award of Best Overall Story. Ready? Drum roll, please. The Myth of Dead Boys Bridge. Fantastic work. I'm glad you stayed. Again, one more time, man. This is, you guys got the opportunity to be the first that we wanted to share this publishing party with. This is the start of a tradition for Mr. Medley and I. You know, we'd love to have your feedback on Monday when we kind of get in our individual classes and kind of think about what we can do to make it a little smoother. Everything wasn't perfect, but we do want to make it the best experience possible for the students that leave after you. Okay, so give yourselves a round of applause.
I've said this to like every class so far, but one of the things that I want you to go away from this with, you go away with anything other than the snacks and the drinks if you want. Just as Mrs. Slocum shouts, keep reading at you every day, every one of you should keep writing, all right? Great.